need to like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to give away some Vortex binos, and you can't win unless you do. You heard it here first. Like, comment, subscribe. Every single month of this hunting season, I'm giving away binos. Okay, bye.
The most underrated food plot of 2025. There is a fall food source. And I say fall, we're talking July, August, like you're doing that late summer planting, guys, where I think it's as valuable as any food source that you could possibly plant. And I would say, I would go as far as saying that less than 1% of people are actually planting this, and I could make the argument that it is by far the most attractive thing that you could plant. Now keep in mind, we're in that time period of the year where we're talking about fall blends generally. We're talking about wheat, rye, and oats. We're talking about brassicas, cabbages, peas, and turnips and radishes and all those cool things. I'm not here to talk about any of those today. I'm not talking about clover. I'm not talking about chicory. I'm not talking about annual clovers. I'm not talking about any of those. The thing that I think could be most beneficial to plant this time of year, July or August, could very well be soybeans. Now, here's the thing. We plant soybeans in earlier in the year, like May. You can plant them as late as July generally, like for a spring planting. That's pushing it. But the reason you plant them is to create a plant that obviously can fully mature and produce a grain. Now, the downside to planting your soybeans in July or August are that will never most likely get tall enough to produce a grain, and it'll certainly never produce, it'll never have enough time to fully just mature. We'll put it that way. And the nice thing about a mature bean, if we were to plant it in spring, is it has the bean or the pods itself, which are great late season food sources, and it has the leaves, which are great high protein content and food sources earlier in the season. So the thing that I like about beans early season, planting them in that late fall time period, is that early season huntability. So let's say you got a buck, okay guys, and the neighbors are always seeing him, and he's 3, 4, 5 years old, or maybe he's not even, but you have a buck in mind that you really want to kill, and he likes to stick around, and you don't know how to get him to stay on your property. Come opener, you feel like opener's your one chance, you really want to swing for the fences this opening 10 to 15 days of the season. I'm going to plant soybeans, and I'm going to plant them at roughly 100 to 200 pounds per acre. We're going to produce a young bean that is extremely palatable, high in protein. And if you think about soybeans, guys, now they are hitting them when they're mature. But if you think about when they're most desirable and when deer are going down the rows and picking them off, it's in their earliest state. Now, yes, I understand. My neighbor has beans. Why would I plant beans later? He's a farmer. There's 500 acres of beans next door. Why would I plant beans? 2 reasons. One, your bean is at a different age class and growth rate or stage than his is. It's a different thing, okay? Palatability is different. Protein content, to a certain extent, could even be different. So on and so forth. The nice thing about you planting it in your food plot is it's not an agriculture field. Huh? It's not a big wide open field. If you're trying to kill a mature buck, do you think he'd rather hit soybeans in a closed environment, tucked back in the timber? Even if it's an acre, even if it's 3 acres. Or do you think he wants to go out in the ag field and look at all these cars stopping and looking every damn night when he's out there feeding? You know what I'm saying? So guys, at the end of the day, guys, I don't think planting soybeans is a bad idea at all late in the summer here. Especially if you get a little bit of rain, guys. You can use a product like Milorganite, which is a biosolid fertilizer, to keep the deer off of it for the first 2 weeks, allow it to germinate. I wouldn't use too much more than 200 pounds per acre, and I wouldn't use it more than once because I don't want to keep the deer off of it for too long. And maybe you don't use it at all, but it would allow those plants to grow up a little bit so that they don't get nipped right off and they do make it to season. But that's why we're planting at a high seeding rate too, even 200 pounds per acre. And you can go get an egg bean, something that's not even Roundup ready, for pretty cheap, $40, $50 a bag. You don't need to spend $120 on Eagle Seed beans to do this, and I wouldn't recommend you do. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to realize that your bean is something different than the neighbor's bean. It's in a young state. It's in a tucked back environment that he feels more comfortable using in daylight hours. And at the end of the day, guys, if you want to kill an opening day buck, I like clover, I like chicory, I like the radishes, I like the turnips. I don't know if there's anything more attractive than a young, fertile, attractive soybean, guys. So if you're looking to kill an early season buck the first 10 to 15 days of the year, you are selling out for that time period. Don't get me wrong. We could add other things like wheat, rye, and oats, and maybe some other stuff as well. We could blend it. But at the same time, guys, if you want to sell it for those first 10 to 15 days of the season because you got a buck that you want to kill, I would seriously think about planting soybeans this time of year.